With God, all things are possible. We began this chapter discussing the need to maintain our individuality. You may remember that I said our goal should be to seek a balanced independence. I believe that balance is the key to success in everything. The Bible states that unless we are well balanced, the devil will be able to devour us. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 8. Where there is no balance, we always find destruction. A gymnast will never successfully complete a routine unless she can achieve balance in her stance. A scientist will have difficulty completing his experiment if he never learns how to balance his scientific instrument. People who never learn how to balance their checkbook can end up in serious financial trouble. Balance is very important. God has created us as individuals who need each other. We work the best when we work together. Combining gifts and talents give us the best result. So we should depend first and foremost on God and then on people. But our dependence on people must remain balanced. The Bible says that Jesus did not trust himself to his disciples because he knew the nature of all men. John chapter 2 verse 24. That simply means that although he was in relationship with them, shared his life with them, and was dependent on them for certain things, he never allowed that dependence to be such that he could be devastated if they disappointed him. He knew the nature of people was to be just what they are, people made up of flaws and imperfection. Once I found myself worried about what I would do if Dave died. How could I run the ministry on my own? After several days of this mental attack, the Lord spoke to me to my heart and said, if Dave died, you would keep doing exactly what you are doing because I am the one holding you up, not Dave. I obviously needed Dave and was dependent on him for many things, but God wanted to establish in my heart from the beginning of our ministry that we were without Dave or anyone else for that matter. I could do what God had asked me to as long as I had him. Every individual needed to believe the same thing. God is all you have to have. Many other things are nice and comforting, but God is the only person we can never do without. The Bible says that Joseph's brothers hated him, but God gave him favor everywhere he went. Genesis chapter 39 verse 21, it just doesn't matter who is against you as long as God is for you. When Peter, Judas, and the others disappointed Jesus, he was not devastated because his competence was not misplaced. He was dependent and yet independent at the same time. I depend on many people in my ministry to help me accomplish what I am called to do. However, we see constant change. People leave that we thought would be with us forever, and God sent new ones that have an amazing gift. We quickly learned that if we don't become overly competent in any one person, then we can avoid a lot of worry and concern. We look to God to meet our needs, not people. We need people, but we know it is God working through people to help us. If He decided to change who He works through, that should be no concern of ours. When Mother Teresa left for India to begin her mission work there, She was told she could not do it because she had no money and no one to help her. I was told she said she had 3 pennies and God, and that was all she needed. All of us are familiar with the amazing work she did to help the poor in India. Her willingness to stand with God alone, having her confidence in Him, allowed God to work through her in a remarkable way. She was a rare individual who knew how to work with people, but who believed that without people, she could do all God was asking her to do. That is the kind of attitudes I want to maintain. I appreciated all the wonderful people God has placed in my life. My husband and children are amazing. Our ministry staff is top-notch, and the wonderful ministry partners God has given us are awesome. I need all of them, but if for any reason God ever decided to remove any of them from my life, I want to be a competent woman who knows that with God alone all things are possible. My confidence must be in Him more than it is anything or anyone else.